Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Reproduction in plants. Knowledge acquisition. In this chapter, we will study about the reproduction in plants through various paths such as roots, leaves, stem and seeds. The germination of seeds. The fertilization of seed. The essential conditions for germination of seed. Reproduction through pores. All living beings like plants, animals and human beings are able to produce their own kinds. This process of producing one's own kind from their parents is called reproduction. Plants reproduce in different ways. Mostly plants reproduce by seeds. Some plants reproduce by roots, stem, leaves, etc. Non-flowering plants reproduce through spores like algae, fungi, mosses, ferns, etc. Reproduction through roots. Some plants like radish, carrot, turnip, etc. grow through the roots of plants. They are also called tuberous roots. These roots can produce new plants if these roots are planted in the soil and given proper water and sunlight to them. Reproduction through stem. Some plants like potato, ginger, onion grow through the stem. They are underground stem. Potato has tiny buds which grow into new potato plants. The buds of ginger also given rise to new ginger plants. Onion is called a bulb. Both the onion bulb and colocasia corm grow vegetatively. New roots and shoots develop from the roots of sweet potato. Reproduction through leaves. Bryophyllum and begonia produce new roots and leaves on their leaves. They bear buds at their edges. These buds develop new plants. Each new plant bears a bunch of roots and small leaves. Reproduction through stem cutting. New plants can grow from pieces of stem. Stem cuttings have buds on them. When these pieces are planted in the soil, a new plant grows from each bud, for example sugarcane and rose. Grafting is a method in which stems of superior quality plants are attached to the stems of ordinary plants to produce superior varieties. Oranges, mangoes and guavas are grown by grafting. Reproduction through seeds. Mostly plants are grown from seeds. Seeds are hidden in the fruits. Flowers change into fruits. So, flowers are involved in reproduction in plants and produce fruits and seeds. A complete flower has 4 whorls, that is calyx, corolla, androecium, male reproduction part, and gynoecium. Calyx provides protection to the inner parts of a flower. Corolla attracts insects for pollination. Androecium is composed of stamens. Each stamen consists of an anther and a filament. Anther lobes contain pollen grains. Gynoecium consists of 1 or more carpels. Each gynoecium has 3 parts: stigma, style and ovary. The stigma receives the pollen grains. The ovary contains ovules. Pollination. The transference of pollen from the anthers to the stigma of a flower is called pollination. Pollination is of 2 types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. In self-pollination, pollen grains from the anther of a flower are carried over to the stigma of the same flower. In cross-pollination, the pollen grains from the anther of a flower are carried over to the stigma of another flower. Wind and insects are the main agents of cross-pollination. Fertilization. Pollination is followed by fertilization. The fusion of male gamete with the female gamete is called fertilization. The male gamete is produced by the pollen grain. The female gamete is in the ovule. The ovule after fertilization develops into the seed. After germination, seed gives rise to a new plant, seedling. Seed germination. Germination means development of a seed into a seedling. So 4 to 5 beans in water for 24 hours. They will swell. Observe one of these swollen beans. It has an outer covering, seed coat, and a ridge on one side. The seed coat protects the delicate inner parts of the seed. Remove the seed coat gently. Inside you will see two ear-shaped parts. These are called cotyledons. Cotyledons are joined together. Now separate the cotyledons. You will find a langish and thickish tapering part called radicle. Joined to the radicle is another leaf-shaped part. This is called the plumule. After germination, the shoot of the plant grows from the radicle. The cotyledons, radicle and plumule are together called the embryo. Under favorable conditions, the embryo begins its growth and the seed sprouts. This is called germination. Essential conditions for germination of seeds. Some seeds do not germinate due to lack of suitable conditions for germination. Some are washed away by wind or rain. A seed needs proper air, water temperature and light for germination. 1. Air, oxygen. All seeds need air, oxygen, for germination so that energy may be released by respiration. However, when the embryo starts growing, it respires vigorously and for this a supply of air is essential. A seed cannot germinate without air. 2. Water, moisture. A seed requires water for germination as it helps to soften and swell the seed coat. The main purposes of water during germination are as follows. A. It softens the seed coat and causes the endosperm and cotyledon to swell. B. It activates the enzymes for breakdown of complex food materials and also for respiration. C. Water helps the transfer of soluble food materials from endosperm of cotyledon to the growing points of the embryo. 3. Temperature. A seed needs proper temperature in order to grow properly. The favorable temperature for germination of most seeds is between 25 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius. In general, seeds of plants growing in tropical countries require a higher temperature for germination than those of temperate. 4. Light. In most seeds, germination is not affected by the presence or absence of light. However, light is essential for the germination of some kinds of seeds like lettuce, celery, tobacco, etc. It may be noted that light is not essential of germination. In fact, seeds of most plants germinate more quickly in the dark. Reproduction through spores. Some plants like molds, mushrooms, mosses and ferns produce very tiny seed-like structures called spores. Spores act like seeds. When spores get suitable environment, they grow into new plants. Dispersal of seeds. We know that plants cannot move one place to another, then how they are found everywhere? As plants produce a large number of seeds. If all of them were to fall under the mother plant, they would grow in crowded conditions. In such condition, many of them can die due to lack of space, air, water, minerals and sunlight. In order to overcome such challenges, seeds should be spread of different places. This is called dispersal of seeds. There are various ways of dispersal of seeds. 1. Wind. Wind takes a part in dispersal of seeds. Some seeds like madar, cotton and hiptich have hairy outgrowth, so they easily carried by the wind. 2. Water. Seeds and fruits that fall in or near water are carried away by water. Lotus fruit has a spongy part which help it to float in water. Coconut is a light, air-filled fibrous fruit. This helps it to float easily. 3. Animals. Human beings and animals eat fruits and throw away seeds. Like this, the seeds travel places. Some seeds and fruits bear hooks or spikes. These hooks help them get attached to the fur and hair of animals. Like this, they get carried away a long distance. 4. Explosion. Some fruits burst open or explode. The force of the explosion helps to spread the seeds. These seeds are scattered to a considerable distance. Good examples of these are peapod and balsam. Continuous review. The process of producing one's own kind from their parents is called reproduction. The buds of ginger also give rise to new ginger plants. Bryophyllum and begonia produce new roots and leaves on their leaves. New plants can grow from pieces of stem. Mostly plants grow from seeds. The transference of pollen from the anthers to the stigma of a flower is called pollination. Pollination is followed by fertilization. In the favorable conditions, the embryo begins its growth and the seed sprouts. This is called germination. A seed needs proper air, water, temperature, and light for germination. Wind, water, animals, and explosion are the various ways of dispersal of seeds.
Like, share, and subscribe.